Vic Mornington, thisislandsl.com, and what we're doing today is an instructional video for the new London Systems TARDIS. I'm currently standing inside my cousin's lighthouse. Anyone that hangs around New Babbage will probably recognise this because it's basically the same lighthouse, but we're also in Mystic Aurora. Try to get the name of the sim right, Vic, that would help. But in Mystic Aurora, which is also the main sim for New London Systems, and what we're going to be doing here is basically an instructional video from the point of purchase all the way to setting the thing up. So what we need to do first is actually find the NLS shop, which is, I think it's this building here. Yes, it is. Here's the NLS building here. SL URL, of course, will be down in the description. So you walk into the shop, and we head over to the consoles. Right now they've got a free Christmas console up and running. Come on, textures, load in. What's the draw distance? Oh, the draw distance is a bit high. Let's bump that down. So yeah, free Christmas console when you buy the Aurora console. The Christmas console's based off the Aurora console for the people that don't know. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the Canon run of consoles. This is console rooms based off of Canon as seen on the TV designs, and what I'm looking for is one that I don't have. This is one I don't think I do have this one. The Planet of Evil console. No, I don't. It's the Master Aeon. The Master Aeon, the normal Pertwee, and the Whittaker. I don't have the Planet of Evil console, so let's go for this one. So you pay the vendor 1399, and of course we're waiting all the chat messages to go through first. There we go. You want to accept that, and that's us got the Planet of Evil console box. Now what we want to do is we want to go to the LAN that you're going to set it up on. So I'm going to head to my own region, which is, if I can find it, where are we? We are looking at Blackberry Fields. There we go. So Blackberry Fields is my own sim that's actually attached to the northern section of New Babbage, and as you can see, I've got a little sandbox going on right now. This is going to be this, which is the Crystal Palace that was built for the Great Exhibition. I'm going to be organising a little exhibition thing for New Babbage next year, but what I want to do is not build up here. I want to build on my own platform, which is further down. Oh, there's my own TARDIS complex, by the way. It's rather big. Yeah, it is. So we want to head here. So, before we do anything, we need to set the system up first. The first thing you want to do is look for the HUD. You've got NLS T80 HUD, NLS T80 HUD RLV. I'm just going to go for the normal NLS T80 HUD. We're going to drop it in front of me. There it is down there. Accept all those pop-ups. And we're going to zoom in, and there's the HUD. Right click on it, choose edit. What you will see inside the content tab is PB Merton. Now this is the default box that actually ships with the HUD, but in the package that you just bought is another police box that goes with the console. In this case, asterisk PB Mars and asterisk PB Mars prop. The prop is what it says. It's something to look at. What you want is PB Mars. Drag it. Drop it into the HUD, wait on it showing up on the listings, there it is there, and then we want to right click on the HUD and take it back into inventory, and this is it showing up here at the top. Right click on the HUD and where, and it should show up down here. There it is there. You'll see the scripts all loading up. Now what we want to do is to res out the console, so find a good bit of space here, and you'll see your console named. In this case it's Planet of Evil console. Drag it out of your inventory and drop it somewhere in front of you, and eventually once the server catches up, there we go, it's resed out. So you will get a whole bunch of green text popping up with a load of noises happening. This is the scripts resetting and setting everything back to normal in the console you've just resed out. You want to wait on all of this text whispering past first before you can actually do anything. You'll see it says main settings have now loaded. That's it, all done. So the first thing you want to do is find the power button, and you're probably thinking, oh feck, where's the power button, because I don't know. Click on the floor. you will get a bunch of floating text popping up. Let's get rid of this out of the way first, actually. You will get a bunch of floating text popping up. So what we need to do is find the one that says Power Options, click on it, and then power up the console. The floating text will vanish, the lights will switch on, and your rotor will pop up. To get the floating text back, click on the power button, and then go into Show Hide Controls. And the floating text is back again. Now what we need to do is to get the thing to take off. Find the handbrake and land and the flight transit buttons. Click on the handbrake first, then click on flight transit. And that will get the console running. Second thing you need to do, especially if this is your first time using one of these consoles, is to put it into what is essentially basic mode. What you want to find is the RP mode switch, which is up here. Click on it. Click on 1 to switch off the Artron mode. Click on 2 to switch the FX off. And what we've now done is we've put this thing into basic mode. There'll be no effects, there'll be no sparks, and the console will essentially land immediately. Now, if this is your first time using one of these, the button you're going to be most interested in is this one. It's the button that's labelled Navigation. If you click on it, you will have a menu: All, Owner, Guest, Save Locations, Category Search, Randomizer, Land Here, Emergency Unit, Recall Switch and Unit. The one you're interested in is All, because if you click on that, a 14-page listing of every single public destination will pop up. The way this console works is very simple. This console talks to a database. The database then talks to invisible prims, invisible little blocks that are in separate regions away from where you are. Just to give you an idea, I've actually got one down below in my own console, and here it is here. The prim, if we go into transparency mode, so you can see transparent prims, the prim is this thing. And this single block which is laying on the ground is filled with police box exteriors. And this prim talks to the database that the console talks to. And the way it works is this. We head back out of transparency mode. I am going to select Navigation, All. Then I'm going to go back and find the Type 42 destination. There it is, there at 113. This is my TARDIS on the NLS database. Type 42, Vic and Leah at Stormbet. We're going to choose 113. That noise is the destination being accepted into the database. Now what we need to do is find the handbrake and land button, which is this one here in this console. Click on it. A second menu pops up. Now we choose what police box or exterior to land in. I'm going to choose police box 13. And what I'm going to do now is head down here so you can see how this works. Let's find the landing prim. There it is, there. Now remember, this is separate from the main console up above. Takes about 20 seconds for this to kick in though. Here we go. Your police box has just appeared separately from the console that you're standing in. And your TARDIS makes the console, that is, makes the landing noise, and what you see is a picture of the destination inside the actual view screen. The next thing you want to do is click on door control. Like that. And before you do anything, before you head out, click on power options again. And click on option 4, primary console activation. You want the console you've just res to be the primary console that your HUD talks to. And then we do this. We've instantly stepped out of the police box because the console teleported us into the police box. And if we do this, we've stepped back into the console again. Now this is acting much more quicker than normal because the police box and the console is in the same region. So what I'm going to do is, number 1, show you how to take off. Handbrake and land, flight transit. Door shuts and we're taking off again, and the police box that we just teleported into is now vanishing. Now what I'm going to do though is land in a completely different region. This is the world map. And I am currently in Blackberry Fields, which is my home sim. I actually own this region, but it's attached to New Babbage. There is another 11 regions attached to Blackberry Fields. I'm going to land in Brunel Hall Hotel, which is one region down. So, back to navigation, all, and then we're going to find Brunel Hall, which is, next one, there it is, Brunel Hall 1880X at Academy of Industry, 21. Then we're going to hit the handbrake and land button, and we're going to choose the PB 1974 box, which is number 2. And now all we do is wait, and the same thing that happened here in this sim is now happening in a different region. The prim that contains all the exteriors is talking to the database, which is talking to this console, which is telling the database to res that particular police box in another region after the landing sequence is finished, which it just has. Time rotor's not moving. There's a picture, and what we need to do now is open the doors up. Now this effect is going to be a little bit longer because I'm now teleporting into a different sim. Walk into the prim, you'll get the full teleportation thing that Firestorm does, and now we've just appeared inside the police box in another region. We step out the police box and we're now in Brunel Hall, and there is the 1970s police box there. If we step back inside again like this, we're then teleported back into the console, and it's the HUD that does that. This stopwatch thing that you're seeing down here, that's what's doing it. To take off again, if you've done your exploring, all you need to do is click on handbrake, then click on flight transit. Doors will shut, time rotor takes off, and the police box that we just left will automatically de-res itself. And that is the basics of how this system works. One more thing to check though. We're going to head out of the console and we're going to head over here. So there's the console all the way over there, and I'm going to open up this stopwatch. If you find yourself in a sandbox or on a region that allows you public build, in other words you can res objects, you can actually res the police box exterior separately from the actual system. What we want to do is click on the stopwatch and then click on summon number 1, and eventually police box reses in front of you. Open up the doors, walk in, and you're instantly teleported back into the console. If you walk back out of the doors, because you set the console as the primary console in the power options, it means that whatever exterior you res from your HUD, which is this thing over here, the stopwatch, whatever exterior you res from the HUD will automatically lock on to the console that I've got sitting over here. And just to show you that working even better, what I'm going to do is I am going to dismiss that one. We are going to head back down to the Academy of Industry. Not at 2,700 odd feet up though. Let's go for 100 teleport. I'm probably going to be under the ground at 100 meters though. No, I'm not. So here we are, separate region. Let's do that same thing again. Click, summon. There we go. Open the doors up. There's the picture of the console. Walk in, and you're automatically teleported back in to your console. And that is basically it, folks. That is the general rundown of how these NLS consoles work. Again, what I've done here is essentially covered the basics. There is a lot more to delve into when it comes to the options of how these consoles actually work. There's a whole load of RP options in here as well. You've also got separate add-on rooms that you can tack onto this to come up with a complex that looks very similar to my own complex that's down here, but this is basically a mishmash of a whole bunch of different TARDIS vendors that I've got down here. But you can do something very similar to this with the add-on rooms that you can get from NLS. I hope this little instruction video has helped you out. Again, this is mainly for people that have never dealt with this style of TARDIS build before. Link to the NLS shop is in the description. That's it from me, folks. Thanks for watching.